Now that we have our dearly beloved here resting, it's customary to do the ripping of the garments for those that are mourning. So, I'll come to you.
We don't need to hear all that, lady.
So we've just torn the garments, and that's a sign of public mourning. So everybody can see when they come to the Shiva house and they look at the mourners. It's a sign of mourning. For those that lost a parent, we do the left side, and for anybody else you lost, you do the right side, because the left side's over the heart, and that's for parents, and the other side. So each one, we did the right side of their lapel. Next thing we do is there's some prayers we say, and there's some psalms we say, and it's an auspicious time, even though it's a sad time. It's an auspicious time when we know that the soul is going up, and it's going to plea on behalf of those here, and also that it's going up to its final judgment. And so we say some psalms that are going to be protective to the soul and bring comfort to those that are here. I'm going to say it in David in English. For you, you're going to have you do it. What? I'm going to have you say it. Okay, I'm going to do it also. Okay.
Lightning back up again. It is lighting back up again.
Mirabella David. Shamrini El Kicha Sisi Ba Chamart. Adonai to Vasa Ba Alecha. Deishim Asherba Aret Hema Vadi Dire Kal Chepsebam. Yerbu Atlesam Acher Maharu. Balasich Niskem Midam. Wa S Shemaisam Al Sepasai. Adonai Minas Chelki V'Chesi Ata Taimich Gairoli. Avalim Naflu Ki Banimim Af Nachalas Shafra Alai Avarich Es Adonai Asher Ya Tzani Af Leilais Yisruni Alayis Shivisi Adonai Lenegi Samid Kimimini Bal Emait Lachain Samach Libi Viago Kavedi Af Vasari Yishkan Levetach Ki Leis Hazev Nafshi V'shal lo siteincha chasadecha l'reis shachas. Pediini arachayim seva samachos es panecha nimes v'mincha netzach. And I want to be able to share a few words. But I think it would be special if I could invite Nikki up to first say a few words, and also share a letter from Mitch as well. So.
Dear lovely and loving Sister Brooke, these last several months have been the hardest for me watching your health decline, but you were so tough, so strong going through this battle that I felt inspired by you. I was always impressed by your dedication and taking care of your body, mind, and soul, by your healthy lifestyle, including how strict you were with what you put in your body, doing marathons, your Pilates business, and one of my favorite vacations when I visited you in San Francisco. You doing your daily Qigong, and most impressively, co-authoring a book. You are so impressive, so many accomplishments that I'm so proud of you. I'm going to really miss your unconditional love, your encouragement, our movie and TV recommendations. You're wanting me to try your different foods and snacks, and really going to miss your reading the ingredients out loud. And health tips. Eric, I hope you wrote down the hair growth concoction. I'm really going to miss you always trying to help me with my health. I never thought we'd lose you so early. I just wish we'd have more happy times together, many more stories to tell. I love you so much, your loving brother, Mitch.
Where's Mitch?
I'm a little shaky. Hopefully. Oh. My beautiful sister, Brooke, Mirabella, love. I admire how you lived your life authentically and unapologetically. You always spoke honestly with loving intent. Your courage, determination, discipline, resilience, and unwavering strength will continue to be an inspiration to everyone who knew you. I will always cherish our memories of living together in Chicago, our 4 months backpack trip, and especially these last 3 months together was truly a gift for our family. I will miss holding your hand, hearing your voice, our conversations, and our humorous teasing. Forgive me for not always being present. I am heartbroken. Our time together has passed. I love you. I love you. I love you forever, my little sister with those beautiful green eyes. I spent hours listening to so many texts and messages from people throughout her life. And these are what people described her as, you as. Beautiful, bright, shining light, warm, funny, thoughtful, genuine, intentional, adventurous, kind soul, inspirational, positive, beautiful smile, amazing person. She showed me how to grasp life, embrace it, revel in it, and when the time comes, release it. You are a light that shines inside each and every person she knew. Gentlest woman I ever met. She stayed positive in adversity and loved completely. I am blessed to have known her. She never will be forgotten. My heart is broken.
like to ask, we heard this come up, the Shia rabbi of the Bottom End. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really sorry for your loss. The relationship with the Gardberg family goes back many, many years. In fact, the Gardbergs are one of the first members of Chabad of Henderson, when it was called Chabad of Green Valley. And meeting your daughter a few years probably after you joined Chabad, what struck out at me was her positivity and her belief and her will to live and her will to succeed. Where everyone thought she is Meshuggah, including myself, including changing her name to Mirabella. One time it took me like an hour to find her at the hospital because I couldn't remember her name. Luckily, I knew her Hebrew name Bella because we always made the prayers for the family. So I was able to find her name. Spent many hours talking in the hospital or visiting when she visited town and going through this journey. I say unfortunate journey, but I think that she wouldn't say this wasn't unfortunate. It's like you said, Nikki, being so positive. We feel so bad being next to her and saying, oh my God, what's going on? And here she is being positive. I go to the hospitals, I always say one thought to people. The Yiddish saying says, Trach gut wird sein gut. I tell people, think positive, it'll be positive. Think good, it'll be good. I think that she was a miracle. So many times I would hear from the doctors or from friends or from people in the medical field what her situation was. You would think, oh my God, we're getting really close. Whether it was when she was in Brazil, if we remember, Peru. We got her through Brazil. We got the rabbi to bring her back. Remember? It was Brazil. He was São Paulo, Brazil. We had a rabbi help out and get her back all the way back to America, but she was going to do it her way, her strong will, her mishagas. And I told her straight. They said, "Well, you're a mishaganeh, but I guess in order to survive, in order to be strong, in order to succeed, you need to be a little mishugah there." She wore it with the honor that I told her that. All the terrible pains that she's been through, it was in such a way she took it in stride, and it was like I couldn't believe it. I would sit with her, going through all this pain, and her being like so positive and kind, and all the beautiful things that you said about her, all of them, all of the above. We went to her to give her comfort, and we found that she was giving us comfort. She was, right? Every time, no matter what the situation was, years and in the house. And the only time that was like maybe like a week and a half before she passed away. I went there. And she said, finally, once she said to me, I feel really, really sick. They gave me something. I don't know what they gave me, but I feel really, really sick. But she had the will to live. And no one's going to take that away from her. No doctor, no family, no nobody. And she lived. I think there was a miracle that all these years that she continued to live. And finally, unfortunately, still too young, we lost this beautiful, precious diamond that she was. Such a special, special person. Passed away so young. The Torah tells us that when somebody passes away, it's not over. We feel this great loss. We just did the Kriya. We did this great loss. But our loved ones besides the body, have a neshama, a soul. And the soul lives on in the family. So we can still connect to the loved one. Like we light a candle, we sit Shiva, we light a candle because the neshama, it says the soul is like a light. So we put on a candle when we come home to show that she's not gone, that she continues to live on. And through us doing acts of goodness and kindness,
in her honor, in her memory, she lives on in all of us. It's just we're very sad because we can't see her. But she's like on the second floor. She's right here next to us. We could connect to her. We can connect to our loved ones that have passed on. And many of you here can tell me, I know that you've lost loved ones and they have come back with different signs in your life where they've done certain things like, hey, that's strange. We do Judaism does believe in connection to our loved ones that have passed on, that it's not over, it's just a continuation. So what we can do is we can take acts of goodness and kindness that she stood for, do mitzvahs in her honor, do that she will live on in all of us. Judaism also teaches us, and the way we do bury all the mitzvahs is that not forever. This we believe in the coming of Messiah. This is one of the 13 cardinal principles of faith: is the Messiah, the coming of Messiah, and the resurrection of the dead. So we believe that this is only very temporary. Very, very soon, we're almost there. The Lubavitch Rebbe says Mashiach is almost coming very close, where we will have resurrection and we unite with our loved ones. May it happen speedily. And may God wipe away all your tears and send you on health and blessings and send Jerry blessings. Let us say Amen.
Amen.
Fran and Mitch and Eric, Nikki, Uncle Jeff. So I'm going to tell the story of Brooke in a few words. Strong-minded, curious, loving, forgiving, happy, kind, and spiritual. Probably a lot more, but unlike the rabbi and most of you, I only knew her for a very short time. But what I got from her when I met with her was, as she said, I believe I lived several lifetimes. That she feels like she's been here many times before. So we had, fortunately, I had the ability to sit with her when we could sit down and have a talk, and she actually had a chance to sit down for like 2-3 hours for just a long conversation about life, about death, about what to fear, what to expect. I couldn't really give her firsthand information on that, but from what I learned, I could give her some basic information of what happens to the soul and everything else. So Brooke told me that she did not fear death. She does not fear death. She says she welcomes it because she knows it's part of the next journey. It's moving forward. You have to leave this journey to go to the next. She just didn't want to experience any pain going through the process that her body would die. She didn't want to deal with the process, but she welcomed the experience. She said to me that when the time comes, I don't know what it's going to be like, but I could just imagine that my soul separates and I'm floating in the air over my body, and I'm looking at myself laying there, and I look at myself and I wish a goodbye to my body, and I go on to this wonderful experience and have an experience that no one ever comes back to tell us about. It's an experience it's a personal experience only you get to have. When we were there after she passed away, like not so many people, but she actually had a smile on her face. She looked at ease. Looked like she was like, at the time she went, it was almost like something that, because all the pain she went through and everything she was dealing with, when she said it several times, I don't want to leave my family behind, but I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And I think it was welcoming to her. And I think that enough of you guys speaking to her and giving her the permission to leave, letting her know that, it's okay. You'll be fine. You'll be taken care of in God's presence, and we'll do things and will think about you and will come and pray for you. And I think that brought her comfort. During the visit, not many people have the opportunity to actually say the Shema Yisrael blessing with all the things that you say with it at the time right before you die. When you say these words, it guarantees you the entrance into heaven, because not everybody gets the opportunity. She had the opportunity to say it with me, to do it together and say the blessing. And she was holding the book in her hand, and she's like, no, let me read it. And she decided she wanted to read the whole thing through. And she did it in English, but she read it through, and it meant a lot to her. So we know that she welcomed it, and thank God she went without pain, and she's now reunited with ancestors and other people, and she's being taken care of. And the week Torah portion that she passed away was Parshat Shemini. Something interesting about that is that in that Torah portion, it's actually God talking to Aaron, whose two sons just died. And he's actually teaching us how to comfort mourners. He teaches us how to mourn. That's so, like, to me, that's so Brooke, something that you could take the portion of the week and apply that to a learning, and she'd probably look at that and say, wow, that's so interesting. She'd probably find that very enlightening. The idea is that in this case here, God speaks directly to Aaron, which isn't common. Usually he would speak through Moses, but he comes directly to Aaron and he speaks to him and he comforts him. And it says that he let him know that even though the sons, that what they did may not have been proper, their intentions were good, and that they were granted into God's kingdom. So that itself brought beautiful feeling to Aaron, that it lifted him up, it elated him, made him feel like he could go on. So why couldn't he mourn? Because he was the high priest. The high priest can't be mourning when it comes time for doing the priestly things. If he's mourning, he can't be the high priest. So what happens? It says that it tells us that Ivdu Hashem b'simcha, we have to serve God through joy, through happiness. That's why it says that even by Moses, when he hit the rock, because he was so frustrated and grieved by what was going on with the people complaining to him about water and everything, that he lost his ability to see what was happening in the future. And it says that at that point he made the mistake of hitting the rock, because he wasn't in a place of happiness. Brooke was always in a place of happiness. When she was laying there, anything she was doing, she always had this wonderful, peaceful smile on her face, and she'd come in and she would just be so kind. I know how much pain she was going through. She just didn't show it to anybody. She internalized it. I know, because after I met with her, I said, "Are you feeling any pain?" And she says, "Yes, for like the past half hour, my feet have been really hurting." So why didn't you say anything? She said, "Because I wanted to hear what you had to say." I was like, "Wow, that's very nice, but at my expense, your feet hurt." He says, "Don't worry, you can get the nurse now." So I got the nurse and they took care of it, but she didn't want to interrupt learning and being part of something because it was so important to her. And that says a lot about her. So what does God do to teach us about mourning? He says, "V'achechem kol beis Yisrael yibechu," that all of the house of Israel is going to mourn for you, and they're going to mourn with you. But because he had things to do, he said, all the children of Israel are going to mourn for you. So look at this show of people here who came today to pay tribute and have this connection to somebody so special. You're here to share in the morning. You're here to share in the crying for Brooke because she touched so many lives. She's a part of everyone's life. And like mentioned before, she's never really gone. She's never really gone. She's inside here. So one of the things I tell people is if you see someone laying there not conscious and you talk to them, you don't get a feeling like they're there. If they call you on the phone from Florida, you have a great conversation. You can laugh, have a wonderful time, but they're not in front of you. So the personality, the love, all those traits, that's in the soul of Brooke, and that's internally inside of each and every person whose lives she touched. So that's in you. So as we move forward, if anybody's familiar with grieving, there are the 5 stages of grief. Some of us go through it. Some of them go through some of them. Some of us go through all of them. But we have the denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. But there's a 6th one too. The 6th level, the 6th stage of grief is meaning. When we find meaning for ourselves, we find a way to celebrate Brooke, find some way to do something that internalizes her into you and you find meaning. That is one of the greatest levels. Not only that, is it just a question of finding meaning, but making Brooke's life meaningful. What are you going to do today when you go home as an extra act of kindness, as a special thing you're going to do, like give extra charity, or anything you could add that would be a mitzvah you could do would actually benefit her, and because she can't do those mitzvot now. She needs you, us, all of us, to do things in her honor in order to elevate her. So when you go home today, do a random act of kindness, give some charity, say something nice to somebody, do something. And because all who are coming to the house, when you come visit the family, you're actually also visiting her soul as well. So when you come in, realize that it's actually a very special place to be. So I'd like to, I spoke to the family last night. I'd like to, when I went there with her the second time, she was not as responsive. She did respond, but she was not more, a little bit less connected to things. And I sat with her and I had a chance to share with her different things, talk to her. And then I started singing to her. And her fingers started to go to the beat as I was singing. And I noticed that it kind of livened her up. And I said, do you want to hear that again? She shook her head and went, uh-huh. So I did it again. And again, her finger was going to the beat. She was enjoying it. So I said to her boldly, because I really didn't know, I felt that it would have been too early to ask this. A part of our conversation last time was about when you pass, what do you want to happen at your funeral? And she said, I don't want people to mourn. I said, what do you want them to do? She said, I don't know, dance. I said, I don't think that's going to happen. But when I asked her the second time, I said, did you like that song? She said, yes. I said, is that something you want me to sing at your funeral? I know, because I get a chance to speak. Should I sing at the funeral? And she said, yes. She didn't just shake her head. She said, yes. And so I spoke to the family about it. And it's actually chapter 23 of Psalms. And many of you know it. But I'm going to sing it. And then we can translate it into English.
There's always a way for me. saying, she
If you know it, please feel free to join in.
was
Some people might know this one.
asking.
Is Harley David, Adonai Roi Lo Yechsar, V'nai Zeshe Yaditzeini, Ame Menucha Sit Aleini, na 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 na. Nafshi Yishayev, Nafshi Yishayev, Yancheni L'man B'tzedek, L'man Shemo. Nam Kielei, Digei Talma. Lalui rara, iato imadi, shidecha, o mishatecha, shidecha, o mishatecha, ema yinachavon, Yarai Levanai Shulchan, Yarai Levanai Shulchan, Yarai Levanai Shulchan, Neged
Oh, Jackson.
Zorishay, Ishanto,
Right, nice.
Ishanto Vashem and Roishi.
No, Jackson.
Ishanto Vashem and Roishi. Roishi Devaya.
Is always here today. See,
Yidifuni, Kal Yimei Chayoy, V'shafi, V'shafi, B'veit Adonai, V'shafi, B'veit Adonai,
apology
V'yayerech
for what I did.
Join me. A psalm by David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall lack nothing. He lays me down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He revives my soul. He directs me in the path of righteousness for the sake of his name. Even if I walk in the valley of a shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they will comfort me. You'll prepare a table for me before my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup is full. Only goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life. I should dwell in the house of the Lord for many long years. Let us say amen.
So the last thing we do is we do the Talmuli Rachamim, and that is the request we have to God to let her soul be at rest, to go next to God, next to His holy throne, and be at rest. Now we say, if her soul is all the way there, how's it here with us? Because once the soul becomes free of the body, it's not controlled by time and space. Now, in the old days, people would say, I can't understand that. But today we have Zoom. Can you imagine? You turn Zoom on and my face shows up in everybody's house. Right now, I'm in how many houses? I'm standing there talking. How can I be in everyone's house at one time? If we think about it, the soul can be everywhere at one time. So the soul's up high where it belongs, and the soul also joins us at certain times when it comes down and is together with us. So we're going to say the Amali Rachamim. We say Bela or Bella? Is it Bela? Bella?
Mama. And then I.
Amoli Rachamim. Shoichem Roimim. I'm saying Menucha Nechoina Kanvei Ashechina. Malo Yisakidoi Shimutoirim. Zoi Harakia.
I wanted to be in a budget.
Bella Bat Yaakov. Halacha le'olama bavur shenazut tzedakah. Bad haskaras nishmasa. Beganei Eden menucha. Salachein balaramatim. Nasireh al-kasei seken
Right, nice. Maybe later summer. Maybe it's better for
you. We will lower the casket into the ground and begin the covering process. Since this is the time when the body is going back to its source, the way that their soul is released is by putting the body in the ground and covering it over. And then as the body disappears, it's no longer something physical holding down the soul. The soul can go even higher. Right now, the body holds the soul down more. But once everything is at the time, the soul can be bound, released in the bounds, and can go up. We say in Kamali Rachman, I just read, the Tror HaChaim, in the bonds of life.
Yeah.
Well, how's the bonds of life if you're burying them in the ground? How does that mean, the bonds of life? It means the bonds of your life. She's being bonded to you. And we're here as a tribute to burying Brooke. It's very difficult.
To you.
It's the greatest mitzvah one can do. The greatest deed is called Chesed Shalemet.
Don't be so sassy.
It's the true kindness, because you can't say thank you, and she can't show her appreciation. It's the greatest deed because you get nothing in return. You're just doing an act of kindness. So we're gonna lower it down, and then anybody who wants to put a little bit of dirt in is welcome to. And then at that point, anybody who needs to go, and then they're going to bring a backhoe in, and we're going to fill it in with the solid dirt. Everyone's welcome to stay. I just don't know your schedules if you have to leave or not. So we're going to get that started.
We'll watch the eclipse today, including these two boys, Luke from Seattle. What did you guys think? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I never seen that.
We also have sand from the land of Israel, Mount Olives. Put sand from the land of Israel on the person who lowered it in. The reason is because it says the book of Deuteronomy, which means that the earth of the land of Israel atones for our sins. Also, we all want to be buried in Israel somewhere, somehow. At least we have some of the land of Israel, Mount Olives, in our buried in us.
Oh, you guys definitely have bragging rights. Checked a lot of boxes on this trip, so thank you very much. Safe travels home. Nice meeting you, boys. All right, from the Cubs to Delilah, Yankees fan. We all experience the same thing, no matter what team we support. What did you think of the eclipse?
It was good. I thought the top took into the main, the main circle, but it was good. It was a great
Jason, you've actually seen something in your life, but I'm not sure you remember the first one in 2017. Do you have any recollection?
Yeah.
What do you remember it was today?
But it was kind of showing a whole black hole, and the sun started to see like it was getting heated up.
Pretty descriptive words right there. Yeah, it looked like a prickle or like a bite of a cookie.
Sorry to interrupt the silence, but if you are watching TV in the background, can you please mute your phone? Thank you.
Right. Looking at videos and doing that kind of stuff. I guess remember back in 2017.
Sure.
Yeah, stop. Don't eat it.
Space and time are created, which establishes that the cause of the universe must be an entity or a being non-space.
Upon that, we're going to proceed with Kaddish. If you're remaining for the burial, we're going to ask that you relocate to the other side of the grave so that they can bring the equipment in. They'll be bringing in a backhoe and special liner to protect the casket of the grave.
That's all we have, right? All the custom just put it over. Something on the passes, double. Three times. Any way you do it is fine.
Yeah. Don't mind getting 30.
He wasn't one of them.
Be careful, please. Look down when you walk, please.
4, 5, 6.
But they can still, the ones that can't do their bubbles, can still do them. Yeah, there's,
They do
Mark?
here, the ones getting in the car.
Mark is right there. It's one there.
Be careful. Some people-
We have 10.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. And I.
There's people there getting in the car.
We've got
5, 6,
7, 8, and 9. I think we got
Yeah, is that guy leaving also? Can we do it now, the cutters? Yeah.
gotta do it, and then we'll do it.
Everyone, please stay here. That's the cutters. And you can go.
no problem.
Go in your phone.
Don't. I left it out. I left it.
Families invite everyone, those that want to come back to the house welcome to come back to the house for the Shabbat. You know the address, you invite if you don't know the address. On the pastrami, buddy.
You were out of breath. You were out of ripeness.
Lots of fun.
Are you ready?
That wasn't it. So we're doing the this one. What did I say? We're doing this one?
Yeah.
Dan, you want to stand next to us? Yeah. You can do it. Very good. Okay, one, take one. The Oma, the Who, the Hitler, Who, Asa, Who, Star, Aya, Karda, Flame, Ulmekar, Ulfana, Nukra, Ena, Bilba Asaba, Ulfana, Adisha, Ishaya, Aste, Zide, Igare, Ushkinte, Yatma, Orkani, Base Israel, Bago, Tikale, Karba, Vichana, Umosna, Binana, Umikal, Ava, Base Israel, Bagala, Ubisman, Karibi, Bru, Amen. Yehesh me Rabba, Vivarach Leolam, Ulamei, Omaya, Yisbarach, Vishtabach, Yisbar, Visromah, Visnase, Yisadar, Visaleh, Visalam, Shmei Dekucha, Bericho, Leela, Vikal, Birchasa, Vishirata, Tushbechata, Benechamata, Amiran, Bilma, Vibru, Amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya, Chaim Tovim Aleinu Bi'alko Yisrael V'Yibru Amen. 3 steps back. Hoseh Shalom B'Ramav B'Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Bi'alko Yisrael V'Yibru Amen.
Amen.
I was going to say the mourner's prayer, the mourner's condolence prayer. So everyone repeat after me. We're going to say it to you guys. So Hamakom. You guys listen. Inachem.
Eschem.
Besoch.
Shar.
Vele.
Sion.
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim.
May you become amongst all the mourners of Zion. All of the world. Part of one Jewish people. You heard something you have lost. All of us, all of Jerusalem.
Right, folks, that's the conclusion of the funeral. Just kind of fill in the hole the rest of the way. the actual people who've already left. So thank you for joining. And if you want a copy of it, speak to Fran, and she should be able to get a copy of this for anybody who wants it. And thank you very much for joining.